is hot. Who are we?
Who are we to do this?
Who are we? How to deal with burnout or how to deal with our social life.
So we wanted to prove to the haters that we in fact have a social life, maybe. I'd say one of my favorite parts of studying medicine in Italy.
We're suffering together. That's the best thing to describe it.
Can I be rude?
Hello everyone. We are medical students from San Luigi and we decided to start this project, which is going to be a podcast. We're part of the EMSA Association. EMSA stands for European Medical Student Association. And we are here to talk about med life behind the scenes. Basically, we are all overwhelmed with a lot of videos of how to study or what specialty should you choose and everything else, but we don't talk about that much, at least, about the emotional part of a medical student and how to deal with burnout or how to deal with our social life. So we decided to start this project in order to put a light also on the fact that medical students do in fact have a social life and they should. So I'm Nicole, I'm a fourth year student at San Luigi, Torino, and I'm here with Atta.
Hi, I'm Atta, also from the fourth year, also from San Luigi. So we wanted to prove to the haters that we in fact have a social life, maybe, and we are aware, and we think also you are aware of the fact that it's just like so much content about being a doctor, being that, being this, but also like studying as you mentioned, but we don't get to talk enough about, being a person and how we can just actually be rather than just like always being productive all the time. So yeah.
Yes, and also another thing, I remember when, for example, I was searching for medical school, like 4 years ago, and I had no information about Torino. There were of course, there were a lot of information how you need to take the IMAT, maybe where the university is, even though I was not completely aware that it's outside of the city. And but I didn't have any input on how is organized, how are people around it, do we have a community, how are students, medical students, and there was a lot of missed information about it, so I wanted to talk a little bit about it and bring something to the future generations, and maybe also people who are already in San Luigi and they're struggling or thinking that they're all alone. I want you to know that you are not alone, and most of the things that you dealt with, we also dealt with, and it does get better.
Yeah, also especially in the perspective of a non-EU student, since we only get to be able to choose one university, it really matters which university we pick. So I feel like in my experience, I was in between schools, and again, there was, at least in my time, I'm feeling old now, we didn't have much information. And this goes to, I would say, any university in Italy when it comes to studying medicine in English. So I think this project could be really helpful for people that are considering Turin and to maybe pull them in.
We wanted to have this first episode where we are talking a little bit about our broad experience over the last 4 years in med school, and everything it's based on what we thought and how those thoughts change over the years. It's not 100%, let's say, exact, and people might disagree, people have different experiences, and that's okay. It's just what we felt and we wanted to share with everybody else. Maybe we can give some sense of, again, as the title of this episode is called, You Are Not Alone. You are not alone. That's what the message that we wanted to send.
Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, take it with a grain of salt. This is our experience, and of course you're gonna know yourself the best. I don't probably know you, maybe I do. And also, we're gonna talk about a lot of, these are our opinions, and we don't know it all, and we're just going through it as well. So I don't want to seem like oh yeah, we know it all, and like, we are the authority when it comes to these kind of questions. And I feel like in a year, most of the answers, at least for me, will change.
For sure.
So it's basically like with anyone, like give them some podcast material and they think they rule the world.
Give them a mic and they think everything they say it's
yeah, exactly. So I don't want to seem that way, of course. So yeah, I just want to clear the air. I just want to say that.
I have some topics that I want to talk about. First of all, I want to ask you, Atta, why did you decide to do medicine? Like, what's not just the scientific part, but maybe also the emotional part, or like, what connected you to medicine, basically?
So funny enough, I grew up wanting to become a doctor, but then when I came to high school, I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I can't do that. It's too much. I don't know. I don't have what it takes. And funny enough, I was thinking of studying industrial design, and I can't even draw. So, like, that was funny. But and then as I got to have more biology and chemistry lessons, I was like, okay, this is fun. This is interesting. I could, work in a field of chemistry and biology. So I was really into, and then I got into this kind of stuff, and then I got into neuroscience and research and stuff like that. And it only came to me in the last years of my high school that I was like, actually, like, medicine could be nice as well, because I really wanted to do some research on neuroscience, and I wanted to study neuroscience and then climb the ladder, like, bachelor and then master's and PhD. And then I talked with my parents, and then they were like, if you want to do research medical research, it makes sense that you study medicine. It's going to be so much easier for you. And so I was like, okay, makes sense. And then I was like, okay, it's going to be hard not to find a job with an MD, diploma. So I was like, okay, let's go. So it was more like a leap of faith in a way, and I'm so glad I'm here. And in fact, now I don't want to do research. So
things
look
change.
At that. Yeah. What about you?
So for me, I took a bit of a detour. So I finished high school in 2019, and after high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. So I decided, for me, the easiest option, since I was in a high school that we studied a lot of math and physics and whatnot, I decided to do engineering. And after that, in my first year of university, COVID happened. And it was something, I don't know, a click in my mind that maybe I could do something related to that, especially since when I was like very young, when I was like 12, 13, I was very passionate about medicine. I was like studying a lot of biology and I was interested in that domain, but I was a bit discouraged, let's say, because medicine, in fact, does take a lot of years. So I was like, maybe I can do something else. But when COVID happened in 2020, I don't know, something in me clicked and I decided to, why not pursue it? And it took me a longer time. Also, another thing that many people maybe struggle with, I did the IMAT twice. The first year I didn't get in, and then the second year I managed to get in and be here. And basically that's it. 4 years later, I'm here. Another topic that I want to talk about is mostly like logistics, let's say. How does our university works? Because I feel like Italy especially works a little bit different than other university. For example, I'm from Romania, and in Romania, even the admission exam or how the university, like the syllabus and the subjects are organized is a bit different. And also in other university, you don't have that many opportunities as we have. For example, one of them is the fact that in our university you can take multiple exam sessions. Like you have one in December, one in January, one in February, April, June, July, September. So you can like spread out your exams through a longer period, which I think is very helpful for the students. So you cannot so it prevents a little bit the overwhelm and the burnout because you have a little bit more, let's say, independence into organizing yourself and your schedules. that you don't have in other universities, because in other universities you had one session and then let's say one retake session. But here you have multiple, and you are allowed to take, as from what I know, as many as you can, unless there are like some specific exams which require you to pass it in like a year or something like that.
Yeah, I think like that's a really crucial, and I think really, I'd say one of my favorite parts of studying medicine in Italy is that unlike, I am from Turkey, and in Turkey, if you pass, like you gotta pass all the exams in the year that you're studying. If you don't pass even one of them, you gotta do the whole year again, which is not the case in here. Like, we have a lot of friends that have some exams from the second year, third year, first year, and that's really common because why not? And
also some exams are a bit harder. Like there are some exams that you can like put a lot of work and you can actually manage, but there are some exams that it's based on, let's say, luck. Because at least in our university, we have a lot of oral exams, and sometimes you cannot have like the best day, and you go into the exam and then maybe you study the entire thing, but maybe the words don't click or something happens, or you're a little bit too nervous to speak with the professor, so you manage to not pass it that day, but you have another opportunity to take it again, which I think it's good for us.
Yeah, especially like I think it helps a lot with the stress, because like think of now, like if I don't pass this exam this month, probably either next month or the month, like in 2 months, there's another session, so I can take the exam then. And I think it just kind of, makes it harder to just crumple down with stress. What I also wanted to say is there's a good part and a bad part to this. It's good that we can take many exams in many different dates and also take exams from previous years. But the bad thing is that you're kind of on your own. No one's going to hold your hand, and no one's going to say, this date you're taking this exam and next month you're taking that exam. So you're going to have to do that on your own. And I think that's good in a way. Like it's difficult. I have a lot of friends, including myself, that sometimes forgot to subscribe to an exam because I'm so used to the dates being given to me and not myself deciding when to take specific exams. And so there's like a learning curve. At the beginning, it's a bit difficult to organize everything yourself, especially exams. And the bad thing is, because it's so based on you and what you want from your career, what you expect from yourself, and some people can just let it go, and then not really, I don't know how to say it, but it's a bit difficult. Like they are out of the track now because they were so relaxed. They were like, oh, so I don't know how.
And they got overwhelmed with the amount of things that they have to catch up to.
Yeah, and they think okay, I don't do this exam session, and next exam session is gonna come anyways, and then the next exam session comes, and then they're like, okay, the other one's coming a month later. Might as well do it then.
Like you keep procrastinating because
It's such the environment is so suitable for procrastination. And so, that is the downside of it. But I myself really enjoy the fact that I get to be the boss, and then I get to decide what exam I'm taking and when I'm taking. When I say when, I mean which session. It doesn't I'm not saying on December I'm like, hey professor, I'm taking the exam on the 20th. You either show up or you give me a 30th. It's not like that, but just to clarify things.
No, I completely understand. To me, I can speak from personal experience. It does ease up my anxiety for the session. When I'm preparing an exam, knowing that it's okay if I, let's say, mess up and I don't pass this time, because I can have it the next one next month. Either next month or in 2 months or something like that, depending on when we are in the calendar. But I can understand also procrastinating, because sometimes you make it so big in your head, especially the hardest exams, you make it too big, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna leave it when I have free time, I'm gonna leave it after I pass this one, I'm gonna leave it when, I don't know, something else happened, and then you keep on postponing it, and then a certain day you will have to pass it in order to get your degree.
Exactly.
Like that's the thing. But an interesting thing, what I saw in the thing, in the way you were talking about, I come from already been to a university. So the thing with being on your own and scheduling exams and everything, I kind of got a little bit figured it out and like accustomed to when I was in engineering. How is that, like, how is your experience with it coming immediately after high school? Like, how did the transition happen, basically?
So the transition was quite rough, I'd have to say, because it's not something that I've ever heard before also, and it's also nothing that I have done before. So I needed some time to get used to it. Now I think I kind of am after 4 years. But yeah, I think the good thing is that a lot of people are going through the same thing that you are going through, and it's also going to be their first time, or maybe second, or maybe third. So the good thing is that you look to your left, you look to your right, and then you look to your back, and and then probably they're going through the same thing. So that's the good thing, and I think it kind of builds up community, like, you know, suffering together. I think that's what med school communities are formed.
Exactly. We are suffering together. That's the best thing to describe it. Yeah. Also, speaking about suffering together, have you ever experienced a burnout because of med school?
Yeah, of course. Who has not? I think like you need to experience burnout once or twice or 3 times to get the diploma. That's just what I think.
To the diploma is a requirement
exactly.
to get to the degree. How many burnouts did you have? 10? Okay, you're good to go.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a clerkship. You gotta fill it in. And especially because I think the culture around... Oh my god.
Okay, cut. Something related to burnout.
The burnout, yeah. I was being hilarious and that happens. Anyways, culture around here is mostly study, clerkship, study, you graduate. Yeah. And you come in here thinking that's how it's done. It's not like that at all. Everyone is taking breaks. But at first you don't know that, and at first you can't even ask about it, because like you have so many exams, and then you have this, it's new, it's exciting, it's fun, but at some point the excitement can be a bit too much, and then you don't realize it, and then you wake up one day and then you're like, what am I doing? I don't want to do this. And I've experienced it. I think like especially with like really important exams, it doesn't matter, like the outcome, it doesn't really matter if you pass, if you don't pass. There is, I think, at least for me, a period of time that I need to just do nothing after an exam. Like nothing, like no alarm, I'm not meeting anyone, like I'm barely eating, I'm just gonna be there, and then I'm just like, I just want to sleep. So I think it's really, really important that as hard as you study, after you have the time, maybe even during, like try to relax a bit. And it's also important to say that it's not all about medicine. Like, you know, even in sessions we're going to be studying a lot, but it's important to have a life other than medicine, which helps. It's kind of like not putting all your eggs in one basket. What about you?
Well, I have my fair share of burnouts. The thing is, from what I experienced and what I've learned, is when you don't, there was this interesting quote actually, when you don't take time for yourself, your body will take time for you in the moment that you're not, it's not the best. You cannot schedule it. So it happened to me multiple times that I pushed myself a little bit to the limit in order to see the finish line, let's call it like that. Like when it was like very hard exams, I really wanted to give my best and whatnot, and I don't want to say necessarily neglecting myself, but I wasn't taking my time to like also relax, sleep well, take care of my health and whatnot. So that put an imprint in my also performance, and also how I handle it afterwards, because sometimes you're gonna fail even if you do your 100 best. I still have one good memory, I can also share it, where I literally cried at San Luigi because I failed an exam.
Who hasn't?
Honestly, at this point, I think we're just collecting spots that we cried, you know. And yeah, I mean, it happens, but you learn from it, and then you take to prioritize some you time also during the exam session. Like maybe you go to the gym one time, which is an activity that is unrelated to studying, and it's something that makes you move your body, or you take a walk, or you meet with a friend for just an hour on a coffee or something like that, that just gets your mind out of it and tells you that life is not just that, because otherwise you're gonna hate it.
Yeah.
And also another thing that I dealt with, I thought I had to be on track with everything, which is not, I mean, it's a good thing because it pushes you to do stuff and, I don't know, be on top of everything as the thing says, but sometimes it's too much.
Yeah.
And you need to see what are your priorities, because it's not just university, it's also your health, it's also a social life is important, like a support system is important. So you need to see where can you leave other parts of you, not just in one thing, because otherwise it's never gonna grow fully.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you will not be just a doctor.
Yes.
And before a doctor, you're a person. So it matters that you actually feed the part of yourself that is the person part. It's as much as you are, or not as much, even more than you're feeding the doctor identity part of yourself. So that's really important, I think.
I 100% agree with you. And also sometimes when you don't focus on the topic too much, and then you decide to do like take a walk or like relax or do other stuff, ideas come. Ideas even about the topic that you're studying, or like ways to study, or like how to manage it, they just come to you out of nowhere when you stop like focusing just on one thing.
Yeah, I think it's I think with, at least I can say, me and studying, we have like a toxic relationship, and I feel like anyone could relate, especially anyone who wants to study medicine or who is studying medicine. And I feel like it's kind of like an anxiously attached and then avoidantly attached kind of way, because like when I'm the anxious one usually, and when I'm trying so hard, I'm just doing everything even though he doesn't want it, and it doesn't work. But as I pull back, this is not relationship advice, take it with a grain of salt. As I pull back, as I focus on my life, as I work out, meet friends and whatnot, and then make life not all about studying, now he's interested in me. Would you look at that? I can understand it so much easier. And it's not so hard to wake up every day and study it. And in fact, it's actually fun. You go to your favorite cafe, you go with your friends, you go to the library, and then you make a thing out of it. So it's nice.
Yeah, that's also one of the things that on my last burnout I was struggling with the whole. I wasn't even in a competition because I don't feel as competitive as in other universities or in other like high school or anything here, for example. But it was just the fact that I wanted to get it done be done with every single exam, and I forgot the main point is enjoying studying what you do. Like enjoying medicine, being fascinated about it. This is my passion. It's not something that I do it just to get a job or anything. It's something that I'm investing in it for my future and for my knowledge because I like it. And that's one of the things that I had to remind myself.
Actually, yeah, now I'm reminded by it.
Like I like medicine. I chose to be here.
We get to study medicine.
That's the thing. And I sometimes I get so overwhelmed and I forget that that's the main goal. That the main goal is to enjoy what you're doing.
Like especially like now that I could feel two neurons connecting as you said that, because like I feel like that really helps, because like in the end of the day, if you're studying medicine as well, it's like if you look back a couple of years, you really wanted to be in this exact position, maybe not exact, but like this position.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I remember myself as well. I was like, okay, I just want to get in. I just want to get in. After I get in, I'm not going to stress about it. Well, that was not the case, but like now looking back, yeah, that is super. I'm taking that with me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
We're learning new things
exactly.
also. We're opening up a discussion about it, honestly.
Yeah.
I have another interesting topic to talk about. What about clerkships and the expectations that we had before we started? Since we are in fourth year, in our university from third year on, you can actually enroll in practice. So you can go to the wards and you can see the actual medicine being practiced. So we went to some clerkships and we had some expectations before and some expectations, like some reality afterwards. So how was that experience for you?
Honestly, I was expecting so much more.
Like Grey's Anatomy or...
Yeah, like maybe not necessarily
Dr. House.
that way. But I thought, okay, can I be rude? No.
Can I be rude? Okay.
I don't know, it's just like, I feel like it's best to go into clerkships without expecting too much. Unless you're sure that that specialty is the one that you want to go with. And if you're ready for it, and if you're comfortable with Italian and all that stuff, then maybe you can have some expectations. Other than that, I hate to say it to you, but like, you're gonna probably feel like the wall.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel useless. You're gonna feel like a burden. But that's how you learn. And yeah, at the end of the day, they might not be so happy that you're there, but they will be teaching unhappily to you.
Yes.
But the important thing is that you gotta ask. If you don't ask, they will act like you don't exist.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my experience with it. Yeah. What about you?
I've done so far 4 clerkships in different wards and also in different hospitals. And I can say that every experience with every word is different. Because I went from, I'm just watching a TV show, like for example, I was going and following the doctor, and to me, I was just like watching the show and maybe interacting from time to time with the patients, with the doctor, with whatnot, but I wasn't that much involved. And then there were moments when the doctor actually required me to do a lot of stuff, which I liked, but at the same time, I was so anxious and I was so scared, especially when it came to, I had to do a visit on a patient by myself, and I was like, okay, this is too much, this is next level. Even though I knew like the steps that I need to take and everything, but like interacting with the patient, it was a bit, I don't know. It's a good practice because afterwards it was way easier. Like the first time, I think you're like a little bit anxious, and then afterwards you get used to it. Also writing in the chart, also speaking in Italian, also writing in Italian. Since I'm not the Italian native, I do know Italian. I was lucky enough that Romanian and Italian are close as languages, and for me it wasn't that hard to learn like basic Italian. I cannot say I'm fluent in Italian, but I can manage. And but still, it was a lot of factors that like influence also my experience. But overall, I think it's good to go, and what you don't like, it's maybe it's not for you, or maybe the specific word in that specific hospital, it's not the best, environment.
I think we shall talk about some social life and balance. And I know people think it doesn't exist. So did I. And what do you have to say about this?
There was this myth that medical students do not have any type of social life. It is not true. You can. It's not easy though. Like I have people that I haven't met or talked to, like some of my old friends or stuff like that. We schedule at least once a month a phone call. Because otherwise we are not able to do it. Also they're like busy, because also another thing that you need to realize is that most of your high school friends who did not go into medicine, right now they're probably working, or like at least in my case, I'm 25 years old, and people my age are working, or they're like doing other life events in their life. So they don't have still the university life as I do. But still, medicine is pretty time consuming, so I don't see that discrepancy, let's say.
Yeah.
Yes, you need to take time for your social life, and it can be done, and it's actually better for you to have one than not have one. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like, of course, I think anyone who's studying at a university would understand that during some period of times you need to study more.
Yes.
We should look at that. Apparently you can't have your cake and eat it too. But I feel like at least here, we have, during the sessions everyone's doing their own stuff, and then everyone's studying a lot, and everyone's studying at specific places. Some come here, some go to cafes, whatnot. But I feel like, hold on, what was I going to say? Other than the exam session, I feel like it's encouraged to socialize. So it's not like that. We have lives sometimes, and especially like there are parties, and there are events, and you can just like go to aperitivo after school. Like it happens. So it's like, yes, there are hard times, but I feel like they are the minority. So yeah, it's just not studying. So. That's nice.
Yeah. Also, another thing that we have, since we are so far away from like the center and Torino, we kind of build in some sort of community inside of our university, and it's very nice that we have that and we can share our experience and whatnot. It's like, to be honest, I call it a second high school.
Exactly, yeah.
Like we are divided by years, since it's from 1 to 6, and everyone has their own room and whatnot, and it's very nice, and you can chat with people from upper years or from younger years and whatnot, and I don't know, I think it's nicer than in other medical schools, because we can, for example, help each other instead of competing against each other.
Yeah, I feel like the environment of like competition doesn't exist at all.
Yeah.
Or maybe it exists.
But I haven't seen it. I don't know.
Exactly. I'm like such a small fish to fry that I don't even know it exists.
Yeah.
But I don't think it does.
I don't know. Maybe to like a certain degree, but not like, I don't know, because we don't get kicked out, or we don't get necessarily, like, of course there's some challenges like Erasmus, it matters the average, and people with the highest average are more likely to go in like different parts, like wherever they want in Erasmus. But other than that, the scholarship is not based on the credit, it's based on the credits, but it's not based on the average. But what was the other thing? Passing exams, it doesn't stop you to enroll in the next year. Like if you haven't passed everything, it's still okay. Maybe you can, like I remember in third year, that if you haven't got until 60 credits, you cannot do clerkships, or you cannot take the third year exams or something like that.
It was, hard for the secretary to...
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe it's impossible, I don't know.
I don't know.
God.
That's
Not important.
But I don't see that many ways that we could compete against each other.
Yeah, I think Erasmus makes sense. Yeah, that's competition. And also like there are some like other projects in which they may look at the GPA and your credits, but they are not that many. So I feel like that also helps.
Yeah, also with your mental health, because sometimes, like also another thing that I did struggle with and I learned a little bit how to get over with is the average, because I came from a high school also, and I was like everyone else here, like a straight A student, or people who actually had were the gifted kids or something like that. Most of them are in medicine, and then you reach the university and then you get let's say an 18 and you're like, oh shit. Sorry. What is that? How did that happen? That's the minimum grade to pass. But it's the minimum grade to pass.
Honey, you passed.
Exactly.
Except the grade.
It's literally 60% of the 100. And okay, I'm not recommending it. I'm not saying that you should all the time just hope for like just a pass and that's it. But I'm saying that there are some moments based on what you're doing with your life, how is your mental health, and all of those things that even if a pass is a pass. Like, that's the thing.
At the end of the day, yeah. And like, no matter how you look at it, I cannot understand to, you know, maybe I can understand sometimes, but like, at the end of the day, the grade that you get from one specific exam is not gonna change anything that like it's not that big. It doesn't matter that much. So it's just that because your overall GPA is like so many other classes, and it's just one grade, and probably it has like less than 5 credits. So,
yes, especially.
Yeah, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Take another exam, I think.
And also because afterwards you have a residency exam, especially like in Italy, for example, you have a residency exam, and then based on that exam you get to choose your specialty. Of course, the average has like some points in your residency score, but it's so little.
Yeah,
Can
exactly.
I just say it's so little that to me it seems so insignificant. I would rather spend more time to study for the exam of the residency than like focus on every single one of the exams to get like 30 con lode or something like that.
Yeah.
If you like the subject, 100% go for it. If you don't, a pass is a pass.
Yeah, 18 is an 18.
Yes, like that's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's what got me so far.
Yeah, yeah, especially like if you are considering any other country, like for example Germany or Switzerland, that don't have exams. It's important. Like they look at the CVs, and when they are looking at the CVs, sure, your GPA might be there, but that's not specifically what they're going to be looking for. And since basically there's like a need for doctors everywhere on Earth, yeah, GPA doesn't matter that much now.
Yeah, but I also think it's what you do beyond a med school. Like, for example, you do some associations, you do some, I don't know, volunteering, you do other stuff that they're interested in, because you learn how to manage multiple things, not just one thing. That's a thing that matters also in your CV and whatnot, my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah. As we're on the topic, I would like to ask you
Okay.
really deep question, really personal, but that's what we do apparently. So what do you wish you knew when you were just starting medicine, like when you were doing your first year, that you know now?
Okay. If I could put it in just one sentence, it does get better. Like, in the first year, I was so overwhelmed with everything. And also, the first year itself, like the topics that you're studying, is not, in my opinion, is not the hardest. But what's hard about the first year is the fact that it's the first time you are a medical student. It's the first time you are doing exam session about medicine. It's the first time that you'd have to do so many orals. Can I just say that it was the cell bio and
you
then
start with the bang, like, you know,
yes,
warm it up. Like,
exactly. No, oral.
They push you to the pool.
Exactly, and it was very scary. I think that was the hardest part, is that I didn't know, first of all, what to expect and how to manage it, and I was learning it while doing it. And that was very scary. But overall, I think you get used to it. Like, every exam session is another thing, and after I've done so many in the last 4 years, that, okay, I'm not as stressed as I used to be. I learned how to manage the stress. I learned how to organize myself, when to start studying, how many hours per day should I actually include, and what else should I do. After so many burnouts, you learn. Eventually you learn that you need to prioritize also yourself. What about you?
Yeah, for me, and this is a hard one, and like after I learned it, it clicked, is that what matters the most is that you show up.
Yes.
I'm gonna give you a second to take that all in. I feel like, especially people studying medicine that come from high schools and then they did everything right there, because it was easy to do everything right in high school. But honey, no, university is so different. Even if you are now watching from high school and you think, no, it's not like that, it is. Or maybe I'm not good. also a possibility. But so you kind of develop this personality of becoming like a perfectionist, and I feel like that's basically the majority of people that are studying medicine. They are perfectionists, and they are why they're here. But also in the meantime, that's kind of hurting you too, and because like you think before showing up for an exam, oh no, I gotta know everything. Oh, but I don't, and then you know everything. Like you studied for everything, and then you're like, I gotta know everything well, and then you do that for next time, and then you realize at some point there in no exam can you be 100% ready.
Yes.
And it's more about the fact that you show up anyways, and I feel like that's a bit difficult to learn, and you got to get over a lot of things of like, it's basically like rejection therapy when it comes to like oral exams as well. You gotta fail, and at some point you realize that, well, if you're trying your best, you're probably doing your best. And you got to show up, and then one day you'll be lucky, one day you will be not. And especially with oral exams, luck matters, or how you feel that day, if you slept well, if you ate well, if you're sick maybe. So it matters a lot. But I feel like if you continue to show up, you will get there. And I think that's what I would tell to myself. Because I remember my first exam, and I was like, I really didn't want to go. I really did not want to go because I was not ready as well. But I did go, and I did pass. And I was 100, like 99%. I wouldn't say 100, but like I was 99% sure that I was gonna fail. But I did go, and I kept on going, and I am still going. Like, of course, you're gonna doubt yourself. Of course, and who does not?
Yeah.
But it's important that you don't listen to that part of yourself. But of course, like there is this part of mental health. If you're not feeling well, don't do it. Of course, but like you can still show up, I guess.
Yeah, there was one thing that I used to like remind myself every time when I was like so scared to go for an exam. The possibility of you failing is like, let's say if you show up, it's like, let's say 80%, right? Mm-hmm. But the possibility of you failing for not going, it's 100%.
Oh, that is so true. Mm-hmm.
So let me get that it's not over until it's over.
Yeah.
Like you do your best. If it lands, it lands. If it doesn't, it's okay. There's always going to be a next session. Mm-hmm. So always, I like that. Always show up.
Yeah.
That's in everything, honestly.
Yeah,
like even if it's not perfect, it's okay. And I don't think there was one exam, even the ones that I got the highest grade, that I knew 100%.
Yeah.
I knew maybe 80, 90, and I was maybe lucky that day, and it just not showing up because you are not 100%, it's not beneficial for you because it stripes you for the opportunity to learn something.
Yeah, especially like during exams you learn a lot as well.
Yeah. I think most of the time I learned the subject while talking to the professor at the oral. Okay, they failed me, or okay, they didn't. Sometimes it happened that they didn't. But the way they were thinking, I got to learn something, I got to experience something, and then next time when I show up, let's say I failed in initial part, I knew how to approach the subject, what to focus on, how to develop my critical thinking into understanding this. And it's really an opportunity to learn also by showing up, even if you're not 100%. It's okay. Mm-hmm. The knowledge is going to come eventually. Still speaking about personal stuff, what specialty did you thought of applying after med school before you got into med school, and how did that change?
Okay, so kids, don't listen to me because I think I'm an exception. Because I wanted to do neurology before getting into medicine. I still want to do that. But like that's really not common. I feel like I really wanted to do neuroscience, as I mentioned, and I got into medicine, and like I knew I was interested in the brain and whatnot, and so that interest was always there. And now we're currently having like neurology classes, and I'm like, it was so much fun. So hopefully we'll see. Like I haven't done any clerkships on it, but I need to do that. And when I do, I'll come back to you. But like that's so interesting that I haven't changed my mind. But I kind of knew that I didn't want to do anything surgical because I do want a life. Maybe we could cut that out. I just knew I didn't want that, but and I didn't like it. Would you look at that? But like, I feel like you need to be open to it. You need to be open to it, and I feel like a lot of people don't know what they want. They just want to become a doctor, which makes a lot of sense because like you get to know what you like and what you not when you're studying it, because it's not really possible, really, for you to know exactly if you would like a topic or not. So yeah.
Unless you do it. I feel like the more you're exposed to it and the more you experience it, you kind of set your mind if you like it or not. Most of the things that at least me and my friends were doing over the years is like the subjects that we know we're not going to specialize in. Like that was the trend. Oh, I didn't like this subject. Okay, for sure, this is not for me. But to also speak about my experience, before I got into med school, I had some idea, let's say, about what specialty would I want to do. I knew that I wanted to do something practical, so I wanted to do surgery. I just didn't know which type. And but I still didn't allow myself not to like clinical parts. I was like, let's experience it and see if it's for me or not. And it turned out that I'm not as clinical as I would like to be. I like it very much. I want to learn more, but I don't see myself doing that for the rest of my life. Maybe just part of it. So I'm looking for specialties who can give me both clinical and surgical experience more than anything. And to be honest, I was not expecting to like urology, for example.
It is fun though. Like,
it is.
Urology
It's a lot of.
Like
It's
I think
a
it's
lot
like
of
the
fun.
superior
Yes.
surgical talk.
When I remember in the third year and I was looking at the subjects, and we have urology. Oh, what?
Cares?
Who
Yeah.
cares? Like all of this, and then I went to the lesson, and oh my god, I was so fascinated about it. And then I went to the word, and I fell in love. I literally fell in love, especially with the surgical techniques, with the Da Vinci robot, and I was like, nice. Maybe I could consider it as a specialty. I'm still leaving my options open, let's say, but I think something related to that could work for me.
Yeah, as well. Like, I feel like as someone that had ideas, I think everyone will. I wasn't really open to other stuff. And along the way, I got to be like, more open to it. Like again, surgery is fun to learn, but I can never see myself doing it. But like again, I was not really open, but like somewhat open. Like the door was not shut, so that's important.
You sneak.
Yeah,
you
exactly. I was just
sneak
like, I was curious. That's for sure. And it's cool. Surgery is cool. But I feel like it's like a trick so that people get to do it.
Okay, this was our first episode. I hope you guys liked it, and we are excited to see you next time.
Exactly. I'm taking it like this because it's personal now.
Yeah.
So we're just, we're new at this, and we need your help, of course. That goes to giving us topics of what you would like us to talk about. And also the name. That's an important factor because the name matters. And we have some ideas, but for some reason we just didn't love it. So we're open to new names for our brand new baby. And so drop them down below, I guess, or there.
Anywhere.
Anywhere. Just let us know. Thank you so much.